cell is small, barely wider than your outstretched arms. The walls are rough stone. The floor is the only smooth surface, and it feels cold under your feet. There is a narrow gap in the east wall. The gap is barely wide enough to squeeze through. It's low and narrow, and the rough edges scratch your shoulders as you shuffle through on your belly. Beyond the gap, the tunnel seems to widen into a room. You hear a faint, rustling sound from inside. Standing in a damp and dimly lit cavern. The air is thick with the smell of mildew and decay. To the north you see a small pool of water and a narrow tunnel leading deeper, deeper, deeper into the cavern. You find yourself in a small chamber. There is a rough stone wall to the west and a gap to the east, leading back to the previous room. The walls and ceilings are made of the same rough stone. The floor is smooth and white. As you move southward, you find yourself in a wider corridor with rough stone floors and walls. The dim light coming from the north gives way to complete darkness here. You can barely make out a few features in the murk, a pair of wooden doors to the east, and a spiral staircase leading up to the west. Dark hallway to the east, which extends far beyond the light from the torch. To the south is a door with a sign that reads Staff Quarters. You go in. You find yourself in a small room. There is a bed, a chair, and a desk in the room. A narrow window is set high in the wall, letting in a dim light. There is a wooden door to the west. On the desk, there is a sheet of paper. There is writing on it. The writing on the paper is small and cramped, but readable. It reads, "Check the lock on the library door. Again. Talk to the staff about cleaning the south staircase. Tell Jay the oven in the kitchen is working fine. Find out why nobody's been dusting the statues, or anywhere else for that matter." Chair, well worn and creaky. The seat feels lumpy, and you notice splinters sticking out here and there. As you sit, you hear a faint rustling sound coming from nearby. As you listen more carefully, you realize the rustling is coming from behind the bookshelf. As you examine the bookshelf, you see that it is well made and sturdy. There are several books arranged neatly on the shelves, as well as a few small trinkets and keepsakes. One of the books catches your eye. It is an old journal, its leather cover worn and faded with age. You also notice a small keyhole near the bottom of the bookshelf. As you reach for the journal on the shelf, you notice that it's wedged in tightly and won't come free. It's like something is holding it in place. You inspect the shelf and notice that there is a small button hidden behind one of the books. Perhaps pressing it will release the journal. Do you press the button? 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 As you press the button, the bookshelf slides to the side, revealing a hidden passage that leads to a spiral staircase. It goes up and up and up. The stairs are made of rough stone and wind up into the darkness. The air feels cool and damp. As you ascend, you hear the sound of water dripping in the distance. You can't see anything, but you can sense that the walls around you are slick with moisture. You are climbing for what feels like a long time. You reach the top of the stairs and find yourself in a circular room with a high ceiling. There is a faint light emanating from somewhere, casting strange shadows on the walls. You see two doorways, one leading to the north and the other to the south. The northern doorway appears to be made of wood, while the southern one is made of metal. The wood door is locked. You'll need to find a key. The metal door is locked. It has no keyhole. You knock on the metal door, but there's no response. You are in a small room that appears to be a storage area. The light is dim. You see crates and barrels stacked against the wall. The air is thick with the musty smell of old wood and dust. You take a closer look at the stack of crates, and you see they are sturdy enough to climb. You start to climb up the crates, and you find yourself at the top looking down at the rest of the room. From this vantage point, you notice a small key lying on a shelf that you couldn't see before. You pick it up. You insert the key and turn it in the lock. The tumblers click into place and the door creaks open, revealing a small room beyond. You enter the room and find yourself in a dimly lit chamber. The walls are made of rough stone and the floor is dirt. The only light in the room is a small torch on the wall. In the center of the room is a large stone pedestal. Next to it is a small glass orb on the floor. There are no other doors or exits in the room. It seems to be made of a smooth, polished material and emanates a faint warmth. It's difficult to determine what the orb might be used for, or what its purpose might be. On closer inspection, you notice that the orb is emitting a faint blue light, and you look at the pedestal and see it has a circular top. On top of the pedestal sits a small indentation, perfectly circular, perfectly smooth. Suddenly, the room begins to shake and the pedestal begins to glow with a bright blue light. You feel strange energy coursing through the room. The orb on the pedestal begins to spin faster and faster and faster and faster. And a bright beam of light shoots out of it, illuminating the walls and the ceiling. As the beam of light intensifies, you feel a strange sensation in your body, as if you were being pulled forward, pulled into the beam. Falling through space, you can hear strange alien sounds all around you, and you feel as though you are moving at incredible speed. After what seems like an eternity, you see a bright light ahead of you, and you feel yourself slowing down. As you emerge from the light, you find yourself standing in a strange, alien landscape, surrounded by purple mountains and glowing plants. Purple mountains, glowing plants. Purple mountains, glowing plants. Purple plants, glowing mountains. Glowing mountains. been transported to another world. That was the end of Act 1 of a 3-part guided meditation text adventure. So we have 2 more parts in the future. Thank you all very much, and thank you for the awesome festival. Thank you. Thanks. We're Dronologue. This is Mike Maxwell, and I'm Robert Schneider. Thank you. Good job, my dude. Thank you. Part 2 gets really interesting.